This is RBN, the Republic Broadcasting Network.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero, because World War III is a really bad idea. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
And aloha, America. Welcome to our show today. It is Thursday, November 14th, 2019. Sure happy it's Thursday. Sure happy it's Thursday. Sure happy it's Thursday. And we've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. The phone lines are open, 800-313-9443. Mike is in our control room, ready to put you on the air with your comments, questions, and observations here. Well, obviously, you know, the big news continues to be the impeachment circus. And I noticed today that most of the news networks weren't giving this continuous coverage. And it may be because nobody's watching, or it may be that there were so many embarrassments yesterday that they just wanted to go with carefully selected excerpts that push the Trump bad, Democrats good message. But except for C-SPAN, the coverage was actually kind of limited, which in a way is kind of good because it's boring. It's already boring. Watch what's going on here. And Paul Craig Roberts is out there and just say, this is all fake. The media are all out to get Trump. There's no way to get any valid information about the so-called impeachment. You don't have to pay too much attention to notice the Democrats and the prostitutes and correspondents are constantly changing the focus. The alleged whistleblower, who only had hearsay information, if that, has now sort of been let go. He's dropped out of the picture and he was compromised. And so now they're out there fishing for something else. Nancy Pelosi was on TV a little earlier today saying that, well, you know, we shouldn't take, you know, the requirements for impeachment literally from the Constitution because they've all taken an oath to preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic. And so now the new message is that somehow or other, President Trump is an enemy of the Constitution. That's their latest spin. Even CNN agreed that Schiff bombed. Neither witness had direct contact with President Trump. Yes, that is a problem. Now, the top Democrat on Schiff's show trial committee tells the audience, hearsay can be better evidence than direct. I mean, this is just absolutely amazing. Democrat Representative Mike Quigley is out there selling the idea that hearsay evidence is actually much better evidence than direct factual evidence. That's ridiculous. Hearsay evidence it's not admissible in court. And they're out there basically trying to bolster all of this hearsay evidence and rumor and innuendo by saying, well, you know, this could be really, really good stuff. And we should be paying attention to it here. Now, Rush Limbaugh basically described the hearings as a snoozer and said that basically the Democrats are just showing boring impeachment shows starring self-important deep state nerds. And they are. They're getting an ego thrill out of this. There was this video of Adam Schiff mugging for the cameras. He loves having his picture taken. Apparently, Ukrainian officials are now speaking out, saying that Schiff's upcoming special witness, Lev Parnas, is a complete liar about U.S. aid to Ukraine, that he cannot be trusted. Going to use him anyway. Mitch McConnell is saying that the Senate will not quickly dismiss articles of impeachment against Trump. We'll have to have a trial. And I'm sure from McConnell's point of view, it's not wishing to look like they're covering up for the president. But again, during yesterday's hearing, One of the Democrats was asked, what actual crimes has Trump committed? And he had no answer. Their entire case is Trump is bad, Trump is bad, Trump is bad. Take our word for it. You will be glad when we kick him out. It's shameful, shameful behavior. Okay, Michael Avenatti is hit with a new fraud charge after being accused of attempting to extort $20 million from Nike by threatening to publicize the claim that the firm secretly paid college basketball stars. They're all crooks. It's time to just admit it. We are being run by a government that is an organized crime gang. Now, Levin, talking about the impeachment hearings, is saying Swalwell doesn't know what he's talking about. Tucker Carlson is out there saying the Democrats have no actual plan for anything. They're just thrashing around with this orchestrated media smear against President Trump. And the goal here is to convince the American people that even though he hasn't actually done anything wrong, that Trump is bad and should be removed just because the Democrats say he's bad. All right, we're going to do a shout out now to our honor affiliates who are just now rejoining our program here. And George Conway, who's the husband of Kellyanne Conway, went on MSNBC to trash Trump and the GOP. And the corporate media is just going along with this. Oh, yes, if you've got something bad to say about Trump and the GOP, we'll give you all the airtime that you want. Now, here's an interesting little story. I hope it goes someplace, maybe not. But apparently there's been a large cache of confidential foreign documents that was just leaked that implicate Joe Biden, George Soros, Hillary Clinton, and Joseph Misfud's collusion and possible criminal activity in Ukraine. Like I said, they're all crooks. They are all crooks out there. Absolutely. All right. Leaked bank records confirm Burisma Biden payments went into a Morgan Stanley account, and apparently they were sent to Rosemont Seneca Bohai LLC, which is a corporation controlled by Hunter Biden, partner and fellow former Burisma board member Devon Archer. So it's, again, one of the really annoying, angering, frustrating things about this whole impeachment thing is how they're always accusing Donald Trump of committing the crimes that the Democrats have. Psychiatrists call that projection. Oh, he's bad, he's bad, he's bad. Apparently, Adam Schiff has a friend who so far has not been named, but apparently he was just arrested for allegedly asking a 9-year-old girl to send him sexually explicit photos. That rates a big ew. All right, we're going to take a phone call from Joe in Alaska. Aloha, Joe. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
I was talking about the underwater volcanic activity being a driver of global climate change.
Yes.
Well, I'm gonna pull up a page here from my phone browser using DuckDuckGo. I searched Antarctic volcanic activity.
Yes.
So let me just read a couple of these headlines. Guardian.com, scientists discovered 91 volcanoes below Antarctic ice sheet.
Yes.
Live Science, hidden volcanoes melt Antarctic glaciers from below. And these are all 2017, 2018
yes.
stories. Independent CO, active volcano discovered beneath Antarctic ice sheet could ... Massive Antarctic volcanoes eruptions linked to abrupt That's Phys.org. We got AntarcticGlaciers.org. Is volcanic activity contributing to the ... Now, all those ... of course, mean climate change. And you check any one of these articles. Massive heat source just discovered under Antarctica. This is Forbes.com.
Yes.
On and on and on. One after the other. Just try it. Take your pick. Pick your flavor. JPL. Science News for Students. Wikipedia.org even. A list of volcanoes of the Antarctic plate. Yeah, it's all right there. Anybody, just open your eyes. Like I said, I'm not very popular around Nome. But anyway, so add that to your arsenal to fight the carbon tax baloney nonsense.
Yes. Well,
Okay.
I mean, you
have a nice day.
As the technology improves, they are finding there are a lot more active volcanoes on the floors of the world's ocean. And I think it was only a few years ago where they found 31 active volcanoes off the coast of New Zealand, right in the area where the El Nino warming current emerges. Remember all the times they said, well, El Nino was the fault of human activity. No, it isn't. There are volcanoes down there. They're pouring out this immense amount of heat.
Yeah. For sure. And yeah, I'm more interested in what the Earth is doing than what the people are doing. And furthermore, you mentioned, was it yesterday, photosynthesis on Mars?
Well, I mean, Curiosity has discovered that the level of atmospheric oxygen rises and falls over the course of a Martian year. And the scientists are saying, we have no idea of any process that could lead to this behavior. And my response to that is, yeah, there's a process. It's called photosynthesis. But there definitely seems to be this institutional directive, if you will, to not acknowledge there is life on Mars. And Dr. Gilbert Levin and I, banged into it back in 1976. There have been other indications by the various rovers of things that look like life. And we'll get out these reports. Could be, maybe, once in the past, but we're not really sure. And I sort of have to wonder if NASA is under pressure from the government to not acknowledge there's life out there, because we might decide to drop all of our weapons, stop killing each other, and unite together to go find out what's out there. And wouldn't be the first time in history that something like that happened. When Marco Polo came back from the Orient, he got thrown in a dungeon because the church was absolutely terrified that news of an advanced civilization to the east that had never even heard of Jesus would undermine the authority of the church.
Well, yeah. As above, so below. How about it, bro? Get the Pope to check his scope. I bet it's no. It's been real and it's fun, but I really got to blow.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the phone call. We're going to let you go and switch over to Joe in Tennessee. Aloha, Joe. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yeah, to paraphrase a movie title, it looks like this is the impeachment too far.
Yes.
Bridge too far. Really, I just hope, I mean, the smart move for the Democrats is to cut their losses right now, because it's only going to get worse and worse for them. And I don't think they're going to vote to impeach him, because after watching day one and knowing what's ahead as far as information on Biden and CrowdStrike and Kerry Jr. and Heinz Jr., that we're all in this thing with Biden Jr. It's the rape of Ukraine by the juniors. All these connected sons of politicians and rich dudes used the State Department and the vice president and the Obama administration to pressure this company and then next thing you know, they hired all these juniors, and the whole thing went away. All the investigations in the company went away. I mean, it's really cut and dry criminal.
Yes.
And boy, to have this come out in the Senate where the media can't keep a lid on it, I'm hoping they impeach Trump, because to go to the Senate, you know, it's going to be wall-to-wall coverage, and the media is not going to be able to just have their, group of people at a table telling us how bad Trump is. The American people will see for themselves, and Trump will be able to enter all this into evidence. And at a Senate trial, he'll be able to bring in the whistleblower, Eric Chlamydia, and we'll get the chance to hear about how he worked for Brennan and how he was involved in the Biden Ukraine things, and he's probably up to his neck in the corruption and the money. So, this is just wonderful. And I see Pelosi on TV, and I'm just like, please don't pull the plug on this. This is the best thing for Republicans that are Trumpians, I should say, in years. And the free publicity and the fact that we're going to do an end run around the control of the mainstream media is just absolutely priceless. The more the American people see people like Schiff and that sleazy MSC lawyer and Swalwell and the group, and they see these State Department stooges. I mean, these guys didn't even know about Ukraine. I mean, that ambassador was a complete moron. I thought Mueller was bad. He's even worse than Mueller. But you know how I knew that it was gonna be a disaster, besides the fact that all the facts are on Trump's side, was when the therapy dogs arrived for the leftists in D.C. It kind of reminded me, hey, come on now, be quiet. When the therapy dogs arrived, it was kind of reminding me of Hillary when she canceled the fireworks before the election. It was it was a very similar thing. I mean, why are they bringing therapy dogs in for snowflakes? Before the hearings even started. So that was a big indicator that things were going to go bad for the Democrats. And they're only going to get worse, and that's the beauty of it all. It's going to get worse from here, and I'm really proud of the Republican congressmen, because so many times I've seen them roll over, especially when Obama was president. They really rolled over anytime there was a hearing. They took dives. It was just ridiculous. But these guys are fighters now, and I really appreciate that. And we'll see what happens in the Senate. Most senators, especially from red states, they're going to have to go, protect the president. And the other thing, even though there's a lot of rhinos and neocon senators, the evidence is just so bizarre of what the Democrats are going to present to the Senate, that they really should be embarrassed to present it.
Well, obviously, as we've already learned by now, they're not embarrassed about presenting any ridiculous story in the impeachment circus. And of course, Adam Schiff is making sure that only the Democratic point of view is being talked about. He's blocking all the GOP witnesses. He's preventing the GOP from asking questions of the witnesses. It's a totally one-sided kangaroo court.
Well, that's because his case is so bad. If they bring the whistleblower in and the American people get to take a look at him, maybe people in Brooklyn and Washington will believe this guy. But other than that, middle America and anybody with half a brain are going to, the problem is that so many people, even with brains, are been brainwashed by the mainstream media. But then that's the beauty of these hearings, is that there's going to be no mainstream media to cushion the impact of the truth. This is the truth.
I'm afraid you're wrong about that one. I'm afraid you're wrong about that one. I mean, the Democrats are counting on the fact that most Americans, because they have day jobs and everything, they're not actually watching the hearings, whether in the House or in the Senate, and therefore, whatever the corporate media tells them happened, they're going to just say, okay, well, I guess that's what happened.
Well, I think, like I said, if this was like the 9/11 truth thing, and I could get it in front of a Senate committee and get all networks to cover it, and CNN and MSN, even if it's on during the daytime, imagine what we could have done, talking about Building 7 and talking about, how the buildings exploded and, the passports and all the other stuff about 9/11. Same way with JFK, Vince Foster, all these big scandals. Just to have the ability to be able to project your message without the spin of the mainstream media's price.
Okay, I'm going to have to put you on hold, Joe. We got to take a break for commercials. We'll be right back.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org, and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcasts. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now, but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero. Join Mike on the air. Call toll-free 800-313-9443. 800-313-9443.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to the show. We're talking with Joe in Tennessee. And Joe, unfortunately, the lesson of history has been that it doesn't matter how much evidence surfaces to the contrary, the official story remains the official story. Kennedy was killed by Lee Harvey Oswald. Vince Foster committed suicide. And those who stand up and say, look, this doesn't make sense, they get attacked. Their lives get destroyed.
No, I agree. I mean, it's if you're a whistleblower, you don't have Adam Schiff protecting you if you're whistleblowing against the crimes of the deep state. But
Yes.
The beauty of what you're seeing is that the awareness now, the fact that like 5 years ago, if you brought up the even mention the deep state, people would say, oh yeah, tinfoil hat, blah, blah, blah. And that's what I've always said, the beauty of Trump. I know people are mad at him for this and that, but the awareness of the deep state now and is like, it's thick. Everybody, it's entering the consciousness of the American people. I mean, you know, it's so invaluable. And to watch State Department hacks and on TV with that, like I said, yeah, you know, after they do their spiel, it goes to CNN, and then people will hear these deep state hacks like lie right to tell them what they just saw, and they'll say, well, wait a minute, that's not what I saw, and they'll say, well, they're liars too, and then they're going to become aware of the media being deep state hacked. So my whole thing about this is, even I look at Trump like a great champion, but what I'm rooting for is the awareness for the American people that we live under the rule of a secret government, and what they've done with 9/11 and JFK. That might come later, but you have to basically break the bond of the people between them and this deep state and the media in particular. And the media has said, ever since Trump became president, Trump's really got the media out on a ledge. I mean, they're out on a limb defending the deep state. They're showing that they are totally in the corner. 95% of their coverage is pro-deep state, anti-Trump.
Yes.
So it's wonderful to watch. Even Fox, people are going to One American News now, and that's good too. So I'm really enjoying this, and I hope it, like I said, I hope it does go to a trial in the Senate, but I know it won't. The Democrats will not allow. There's no way they're going to let there be a fair trial in the Senate. And that's what it'll have to be, because Trump will be able to call witnesses there. So they're going to figure out a way to pull the plug on this and not go to impeachment. Mark my words. I hope they do, because I would love to see the trial in the Senate. But it's just like they did away with the House Judiciary hearings, because that was such a disaster for them. And now they're doing it, in the Intelligence Committee, because Nadler and all those goofballs, Sheila Jackson Lee and all those, were just so antithema to American values. So it's just really good to see. And then the interesting thing is, here you go with the school shooting, to take the whole thing off the front pages because it was such a disaster. I mean, the State Department clowns was such a, that that if it was a disaster for Trump, it'd be there. That's all they'd be talking about today, but they're barely talking about it. So that tells you something right there. But once again, I think by the time this is over, a lot of Democrats, lefties, are going to need therapy dogs, and they're going to, they're going to need them for real, So one other good thing I think is good is Trump's putting up a wall cam so you can watch the wall being built, and I think that's a great tactic.
Good.
It's good for people to see the progress going. There was a big fight, and he had to, twist arms to get money and go to court, but it looks like the wall is being built. It won't be built by the time of the election, but there's definitely a lot of progress going on. So it'll be good to check in on the wall cam once in a while. See?
All right. Well, listen, Joe, thank you very much for the
thank you
for the phone call here. We're going to start with Don in Arizona, but Don, I'm going to have to take you through the commercial break. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Your friend there, Joe from Tennessee, stole my thunder, Mike. I was going to say exactly the same thing that he said. They can't. I don't think, and in fact, I'll predict also that they will not. The Democrats are not going to vote for impeachment. So the only way they can even make a sham out of it is that in the House, the Republicans can't even call witnesses. Period. They can. Yeah. He's letting them ask questions. If it went to the Senate. No matter what, I guess, whatever committee it is, the Republicans can call witnesses. They're going to call Joe Biden, Hunter Biden. They're going to call the whistleblower. That's why they can't. They're not. What they'll do is they'll just say they can censure him. They can vote for some kind of a slap on the wrist that falls short of impeachment. There's a couple things they can do. I think censure or something like that.
Censure.
That way they. What?
Censure.
Yeah, censure. That's. I predict that's what they'll do. They're not going to impeach and let it go to the Senate, because they'll have a TV show in the Senate that makes sense. This TV show they got here doesn't even make any sense. And,
no, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. Okay, Don, I'm going to let you go. We got to take a break for commercials. We've got more callers waiting on the line, and we will be right back.
are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, keep it today.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Many people write us about their experience with Extendivite. Allow me to read you some from Amazon.com. It really does work like the review says it does. I cannot believe that after the first few days, I didn't feel as sluggish or clogged up. It has had a profound impact on my physical, emotional well-being. I'm skeptical as most people about products and their claims, and I never write reviews, but this is a wonderful product and I recommend it to everyone. Great product. It has brought my blood pressure from the mid-150s over the 80s to the mid-130s over mid-80s, along with diet and exercise in just the past couple of months. Excellent. Thank you, David. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
When all this twisted steel was swept away, did these remaining holes reveal what's really happened?
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show here. We're going to go back to the phones here. Boy, the phone lines are just loading up here right now. Ken in Savannah, Georgia. Aloha, Ken. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yeah. Hey, Mike. Hey, Mike. Yes, Ken in Savannah. And I wanted to just say a couple things quick. First, yesterday you were saying that medicine they had you on had you so sick. And when I was watching those shows, you looked horrible. But I'm not kidding you, man. I mean this. You look like that medicine after you got off it. You look younger than I can remember ever seeing you in a while. It reversed your age, man.
Well, I don't know about that, but I mean,
you look great.
Well, I feel a lot better, you know, and I'm just these days I'm just doing vitamins.
That's good. I'm glad to hear that.
I'm doing the Extendivite.
All right. Mike, this is the question I got for you. All these players in this impeachment of Trump, how many of them can you trace back that were involved like in 9/11, the 9/11 investigation, the bank, the bank bailout, and right up through the election and all that. The people that seem to have, when they were committing crimes, they got to move into better positions. That
Yes.
This octopus thing they created, what would be the names that you'd run by? Because I want to know them to pass to somebody, and I'm going to shut up and listen.
Well, I don't really have the names here. Somebody needs to basically come up with a flow chart that links all of these names back to everything that they've ever done. And then we get an idea of just how ubiquitous the deep state really has become. But it's going to be a monstrous project. The more we learn, the more we come to understand that all of these players in the deep state, they've all been involved in all kinds of stuff. In the past, scandals.
Wasn't like Comey. It seems like he was involved in 9/11, and
Yes.
now he's, on this Trump stuff and Mueller and these FBI directors and CIA directors, and it's like this. They've had like a 20-year run.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm
I
sorry.
don't
I
know.
was looking at a message I was getting from the control room. Okay, so anything else?
No, that's just it. I was hoping, because I'm trying to prove something to somebody. You know how it is. They're in complete denial, and they really listen to the mainstream media, and they believe all this stuff. And it's really hard to get them to open up their eyes. But I've been telling everybody, every time I run into anybody, I always tell them to look at all wars of bankers' wars, and that does open up, gets people thinking.
Yeah, that's one of the most popular posts we ever did here. Generally, when I come up to somebody who's part of the great brainwashed for the corporate media, the first thing I'll say is, do you really think Saddam Hussein had nuclear weapons? They really don't have an answer for that one.
Mike, I seen this hilarious thing on YouTube the other night, and it's hardly got anybody that's watched it. And believe it or not, it's Syria put out a public service announcement. They made 2 videos for, power outages. And they're funny as anything. And it's this guy and his wife, and they're sitting in their apartment in one, and they're sweating, and the power comes back on. They're running around, and those people are living the house. My wife said, "Wow, they're living in a beautiful place." And this was for the general population to consume. About we got power outages because of this war, and people in this country don't realize that Syria was it was a beautiful country, and the people had a pretty good standard of living, and we destroyed the place. It's crazy. It's crazy.
And now we're not
everybody in
going to
America
let them have the oil with which to pay for reconstruction. I mean, all of these countries the United States has invaded. Before the invasion, they were beautiful places, great architecture, good lifestyle. The population was happy. And the United States goes on in and says, oh, no, we're going to bring you democracy, or we're going to fight ISIS, or we're going to get that evil Assad for gassing you all. And when they get done, the place is a wreck.
Unbelievable. I got actually one quick question, and then I'll quit. And that is, I'm looking at that airport up in Turkestan, I think it is. It looks like a big giant bird, and that city they built up there. What is that all about? And is America involved in that place too? Or is that Russia's place?
I think that tends to be more the Russian sphere of influence.
Okay, because I had heard crazy stories that city was built and it was going to be eventually like the New World Order's capital, and all the people and the rats leave the ship, they're going to go all head there, because I guess that place is pretty empty and it's just waiting to be occupied.
Well, I think that if they pull off the New World Order, One World government, it's more than likely going to be located in Jerusalem.
Yeah. It's such a hot spot, though. I don't know if I want to be there. But thanks a lot, Mike. And I'm going to send you a little check in the mail. You got a hard address, like a P.O. box?
Yes, I do. If you go to the donations link on the main page, it'll give you the P.O. box here in Santa Claus.
Okay, super. I'm going to send you a donation. That's a promise. And I'll give you a little story in there because I talked to you a long time ago. I was born at the Quincy City Hospital in June of 1952. So you and me are like almost blood brothers.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Well, listen, thank you very much for the donation. Thank you very much for the phone call. And we're going to switch over to Kevin in West Virginia. Aloha, Kevin. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hello, Mr. Mike. I have a couple of things on my mind today. The first one, what prompted me to call, you was talking about Adam Schiff and his so-called friend that got caught, wanting to get pictures from an underage girl. I was wondering if you knew who Ed Buck was. If you remember that name at all.
Yeah, I've heard the name.
Okay, Ed Buck was a high-level Democrat donor that got caught with dead people in his, I call it his little sex mansion. He was throwing methamphetamine fueled. Okay, so guess who's tied with this Ed Buck and was at his little sex palace with this methamphetamine sex palace? None other than Adam Schiff. Go figure. You know what I mean? Where they're dressing up as Egyptian gods and having methamphetamine gay sex with these black people. But it just never stops. Like it never stops. The other thing I wanted to ask, I haven't heard, I've been trying to listen. Has the jury, I know they were in deliberation about Roger Stone. I'm pretty sure they're going to find him guilty because it's a kangaroo court. But have you heard if they had a verdict come back on him?
No, not yet, but it's imminent, and they're basically going to throw him in jail for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I think. I mean, and the only crime that he had or had committed was, backing Donald Trump. I mean, that goes to show you none of us are safe here. None of us.
Yes.
Absolutely none of us. But that's all I had for you. I wanted to draw a connection with Ed Buck and Adam Schiff. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people don't know who Ed Buck was or there's a connection with Adam Schiff there, that Adam Schiff has been in his little sex palace. But, I mean, just goes to show you more corruption. But that's all I have for you, sir.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I wonder if that's why his eyes look the way that they do. And we're going to let you go and switch over to Tom in Indiana. Aloha, Tom. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hi, Mike. I heard a pundit on TV the other day that said if they have a trial in the Senate, all the senators have to come and they have to sit there for 6 hours and watch the trial, because they're all going to be jurors. And once they're jurors, they cannot leave and they can't go. They have to be there for 6 hours every day. And just think, if you're running for president and you're in the Senate, you can't leave. You got to be there. And then when you leave to go campaign, you can't go very far, and you can't talk about impeachment because you're part of the jury. So it kind of screws all the people that are running for president that are senators right now. If they go to the Senate, I mean, if the trial goes to the Senate, and it helps people like Hillary Clinton because she can campaign, and Buttigieg and anybody else that isn't a senator, that'll give them a heads up on all that, anyway, it'll give them a head start on everything. I just didn't know if you had mentioned that at all, but I just wanted to throw that in there.
Well, no, I hadn't mentioned it because I really hadn't thought about it. But you're absolutely right. A prolonged impeachment trial in the Senate is going to seriously interfere with some of the campaigns. And this may be a motive for the Senate to basically, get this thing over with as quickly as they can.
I think not. I think that the Republicans in the Senate would like to see it go there because they'd like to have these people all dragged out, and then they'd have the worst candidates out there running, and it'd make everybody look real bad. So that's just what I thought. So anyway, I'm going to let you go.
I find myself in agreement with that earlier caller who said that the Democrats are going to find some way to not have this go to the Senate because it is far from certain that the Senate would vote to remove. And I'm sure the senators are watching the proceedings in the House, and realizing what a joke this is.
And I got a Jim Jordan flag in my front yard. I'm one of his big fans. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. Thanks a lot, and thank you for being in Indiana.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the phone call here. The phone lines are now open again, 800-313-9443. We had some people who'd called in and held for a while and then dropped out because we were taking so long on this. Okay, let's turn to the international news here. Things are really heating up over in Israel and Gaza. And again, we're seeing the bias toward Israel from the media, from all these institutions, including the United Nations. The United Nations is condemning the rockets fired from Gaza. It has nothing to say about the deadly Israel airstrikes. There have been something like 50 of them so far that have killed 24, injured 69 over the past 2 days, along with the damage there. Always going to be the Israel's point of view. Okay, getting on back up here. And now the media, in describing what's going on in Gaza, is using very loaded terms like pinpoint strike, targeted killing, to sell you the idea that all the people who are being killed by Gaza were legitimate targets, bad people. They deserve to get killed. And it's a lie, of course. Israel's just bombing for the sake of bombing. And apparently, as in one example, 3 children were killed as Israel escalates the Gaza attacks. Apparently, in another incident, Israel kills 8 members of the same family in Gaza. Doesn't sound pinpoint to me, doesn't sound targeted to me. Okay, we're going to go back to the phones here to Sebastian in Sweden. Aloha, welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Yes, hello, Mike. I was hearing you the other day talking about the situation in Sweden, and I can tell you today it's not very good. It's all the bombings in Sweden is compared to Afghanistan today. Sweden is we have the most bombings of any Western industrialized country. It's almost one every 2 or 3 days. Most of them in the city of Malmö.
Yeah.
And, it's really bad. And now we've started getting, they're called humiliation robberies, which they do is a gang of 10 gets around a guy about 18 and robs everything but his underwear. And it happened, 2 of them was just yesterday. One was in Gothenburg and the other one was outside Stockholm. And the guy in Gothenburg, they cut off his ear after they robbed him. And also in Gothenburg, and also in Boston, I don't know, maybe he thought he was Van Gogh or something. No, it's no joking. But also in Gothenburg, it was a guy who smashed the jaw of a light rail driver for the streetcars in Gothenburg. And all of these robbings and rapes, they're coming from 95% foreigners. Not all foreigners, like the ones that have been here for years and years. They're moving out of Malmö, moving away from the city now. The third generation foreigners, been here, living here a long time. So it's getting worse for every, we'll see. And they're expecting that there could be some really dramatic bombing here around Christmas because the Swedish, equivalent to CIA or something, they said that there could be 3,000 ISIS people here that shouldn't be here. And that's a lot. These are real tourists, But if Sweden brings them in, the liberal government brings them in, even though that the security police doesn't like it at all. But it's nothing we can do. We don't have to do anything because we have we have Greta Thunberg. So everything is happy, I mean, it's terrible.
It really is. And Sweden, like so many of these other countries, used to be a very beautiful place. And the immigrants flood on in. And again, the quality of life goes downhill. And Sweden's government, of course, is very, very liberal. In fact, Grand Tour, which is the Amazon version of Top Gear, did an episode up there in Sweden. And Jeremy Clarkson was out there just ragging on them for some of the stupid decisions the government was making.
Yeah, I know. The BBC was up here a few days ago. They were doing some sort of, and they said that it's worse, and they even admit it. And that's really weird for mainstream media. BBC.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Mike.
All right, thanks an awful lot. We're going to take another break for commercials, and we'll be right back.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org, and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcasts. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
Many people tell us about their experience with Extendivite. Just listen to what Glenn has to say.
Prior to taking it, I had diabetic neuropathy. The Extendivite reduced that significantly. Acid reflux was reduced. I had athlete's foot, very severe. Trimmed that down to about 75%. Dandruff, almost completely gone. I had occipital neuralgia at the base of my skull. I was having migraines, reduced by about 90%. Heart palpitations, my heart would kind of stall out. I would skip a beat. Very uncomfortable. And when walking from downstairs going to sleep, by the time I got to the bedroom, which is just one flight of stairs, my heart was pounding, coming out of my chest. My vision was blurry. This completely solved that problem. Great product. Thanks.
Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendivite.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show here. And getting on back to the news here, we're talking about what's going on over in Israel and Gaza. And Israel has basically cranked up their propaganda machine to try and justify the fact that they're killing a lot of kids. And that's a tough sell, I think, for pretty much anybody. It almost seems like, well, it's their fault for standing next to somebody we wanted to kill. Or, hey, they're just going to grow up to be terrorists anyway. Now, there's a video that came on out, and I'm sure that Israel did not want it to come on out, but basically it shows Israeli forces attacking a CNN reporter and his crew at the Gaza fence. Just attacking him. Meanwhile, once again, this is becoming a daily occurrence, hundreds of Israeli settlers raid the Al-Aqsa Mosque, protected by the Israeli police. And today, apparently, 244 Israelis raided Al-Aqsa Mosque, and basically they go on in and perform Talmudic rituals in this Islamic mosque. Okay, we're going to take another phone call here. Peter in Los Angeles, aloha. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hi, Mike. I'm in my car. Can you hear me?
I hear you fine.
Good, good. Listen, I'm calling in response to the gentleman that just called from Sweden. And you wonder how, of course, the Israelis founded Israel, founded on ethnic cleansing, founded on massacres and rapes and ethnic cleansing, continual for the last 70 years. But how they have a wall, and it's okay for them to have a wall, but nobody else can have their ethnic identity except the chosen Jewish supremacists that seem to run the entire goddamn world. So I'm thinking about what can be done to reverse this horrible situation in Sweden. And I'm thinking while this gentleman is talking about it, and the only way to do it would be to completely mobilize all the reserves, all their equivalent of the National Guard, mobilize all their shipping, like on a World War II type basis. Go down, arm them, go through, and literally re-ethnic cleanse the people who are trying to ethnic cleanse them in their own country. And I can't see another way out of that for Sweden or for a lot of these countries. And I just, what do you think about that, Mike?
Well, I'm opposed to trying to solve everybody's problems with a gun. But at this point, Israel is behaving very badly. Everybody's seeing what's going on here. And my concern is that as we get into the holidays like Thanksgiving, we're going to see Israel escalate the situation to the point where they may simply go on in and scrape out Gaza and say, this is now part of Israel again.
Yeah, I'm talking about Sweden now, Mike.
I'm sorry.
I'm talking about how are they going to reverse this horrible rape, beating, humiliation, taking over their cities by a bunch of people. Can you hold me?
Yeah, I'm going to hold you over the station identification. We'll be right back after these few words.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. foreclosure. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, the number 2, keep it today.
You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, because you can handle the truth.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero. You're listening to the Republic Broadcasting Network, where you'll find out what the Fukushima's going on.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show. We're talking with Peter in Los Angeles. And Peter, there seems to be this phenomenon, not just in Sweden, but all across Europe, where the law enforcement authorities are somehow being restrained from dealing with this antisocial behavior. Whether they're being told that, arresting the immigrants represents racism or whatever. But it's very clear when you look at what's going on in places like Sweden, the police simply are not doing their job.
Well, they're being prevented, I believe, from doing their job by the political leadership, which, just like in the United States and in Britain, is owned by a bunch of dual loyalty, not even dual. Let's face it, it's not dual loyalty. The same people that own the Democratic Party own the Republican Party. They control the media. They control the press. They control the banks, which can print money out of nothing. And they're being not allowed to defend their own country. The police are not allowed to defend it. The military is not allowed to defend it because the leadership is bought, the political leadership is bought and paid for by these neocon, Israeli firster, fifth columnists all over the world. And they're taking away Sweden, they're taking away Belgium, they're taking away France, they're taking away everybody. They have a war on European Americans or European people all over the world. And so how do you fix, if you're a Sweden, how do you fix it? And I'm saying, since of course these people have been dumped on them against the people of Sweden's wishes, against their military and police wishes, but the political leadership, which is owned by you-know-who, well, I would tell you the only thing is to oust the people who are controlled by you-know-who, oust the you-know-whos as well, mobilize the army, and oust the people who are taking Sweden away from the Swedes. It's the only way you're going to do it. That's the bottom line.
Well, I'm afraid you're right. I don't like the option, but I'm afraid you're right.
And that's what it's come down to. We don't own our own country. It's being, look what happened in Virginia. They're going to take Texas, as people have talked about there. They've already taken California. This state is gone. It's gone. And we can't control our own borders. We can't control our own foreign policy. We can't control our congressmen or our senators or our president. They are all owned by 1.7%, less than that, of the population that controls the banks and can print money, controls the media, controls the cultural discourse, controls everything. And look around at who controls just about everything. Look at Adam Schiff just being one of them.
Yes.
Okay, that's it. That's it for me, Mike. But that's the bottom line here. If we don't do something about it, I saw something that was that I forwarded to you. I don't know if you ran it or not, where the editor of some website, a big website, a Jewish guy, says that the Europeans are anti-Semitism is hardwired into their DNA.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And that was what he said. And my what are we going to do when they control everything, and chosenness and Jewish supremacy it's the insatiable drive to control and just to control everything around them. What are we going to do when to confront that? Or what do? We just roll over and die, or we let ourselves be controlled? That's, but Sweden it's just because they have so many fewer people and they've lost their country first. It's a pretty good, test case of what's going to happen here. And it's what's happening everywhere else. It's just happening there first because there are not that many Swedes, and there's not going to be any more Sweden either.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear some people talk about this.
I mean, if you really think about it, a lot of what we're seeing in the world today matches what was going on all across Europe and especially Germany in the 1930s, and we saw where that wound up, leading.
Mike, if you think back to the 30s and the 20s, and Germany just coming out of World War I, destitute, broke, the international bankers controlling everything, and so on and so forth, and Poland, right? Poland only at 10, 15, 20, 20 million people, but a huge percentage of their population. Every single institution was controlled. If they can dominate us with 1.7% of the population and control the banks and everything else, what do you think they did to Poland and Belarus and all these other places, the Baltic republics and Germany, destitute, defeated Germany, and what apparently had to be done to get their country back. And it's just imagine if they can take over a mature democracy like this and control everything we do, all our wars, all our public policy, all our foreign policy. Imagine with 330 million Americans, most of whom are not them, the most of them are not them. What do you think they could do? And they did in Poland, for instance, or in some of the other places. It's a real problem, man. It is maybe the bedrock problem. But anyways, I'd love to hear some of your other listeners talk about this. But that's my take, and that's it for me, Mike. Thanks very much.
All right. Thanks an awful lot for the phone call. We're going to do a shout out now to our on-air affiliates who are just now rejoining our program. Okay, getting on down to Central and South America. It has come on out. Now, somebody actually asked the other day if this was the case, and now we're getting confirmation that commanders of Bolivia's military and police that helped plot the coup were educated in the U.S. military's notorious School of the Americas, otherwise known as the School for Dictators. Okay, we're going to go back to the phones. Tom in Florida, aloha. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Aloha, G. Michael. Good day to you. Yeah, Michael, that one call you had last hour, I didn't have a chance, but Joe, he's a good caller from Tennessee, I believe it was. That was a very good call. Yeah. What's on my mind, Michael, is first off, let's go back to what's going on in Molly Tibbetts. You heard about this case coming up with the illegal alien stabbing Molly Tibbetts 15 times?
Yeah.
And now he wasn't read as Amanda writes because he didn't get it read in English or something. And he said he was tired and he couldn't understand why he confessed, I guess. Here's a woman brutally murdered, 15 stab wounds. And I like I say, these demon rats got to be put in jail, the Gray Bar Hotel. And Joe brought up a thing about Junior. You know, I had a Whopper Junior today. It's funny. He's like reading my mind. I was thinking, everything's Junior here. Everything's Junior about what this cabal, whatever you want to call it, the Inquisition of Trump, and Pelosi, something going on about her son. I mean, this is all chaos.
Yes,
it really is. It's absurd what's happening. But there you go again. Another thing, Michael, I want to ask your opinion on something. You were right. They had a shooting today. Some Asian kid shot the school up, I guess, and they're trying to, because this Kabbalah thing ain't going to work too good for the demon rats. But Michael, let me ask you, what do you think is going on with this Jesse Smollett situation?
Well, I mean, it's looking to me like they're going to let him walk.
You know, that's what it looks like to me. It's look, this guy cost the Chicago Police Department 130 grand.
Yes.
You don't hear nothing about it in the news anymore.
Nope.
If it would have been the other way around, if Trump, these people actually would have done this to this guy, you'd still be hearing about that on the news right now. They would use that as a campaign theme for the demon rats. But these demon rats are so evil and so conniving, and it's just amazing what these demon rats are getting away with. But again, you got to look what's going on with the deep state as far as Soros, Schiff. The one you had, the callers talking about, this guy had Buck. The guy Buck in the sex palace. The guy was having black guys having sex with them. And I mean, if that's true, you know, these congressmen need to be made aware of that. I mean, come on. Can you imagine if Trump finds out that's the real truth? That this guy Buck and Schiff are buddies? Can you imagine that?
Yep.
Bug eyes and the Buck giving the Buckeye. I mean, bug eyes. I mean, you know, this is insanity. But, you know, getting back to this illegal immigration, Michael, I really think that, you know, people need to call their congressmen and demand that everybody illegal in Texas and California be shipped over to the New England states, New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, all those states, Virginia, send them all over there and clear out the West of all these illegals. And we'll see how long Bernie Sanders and the other guy, Welch, will want to be living in them states. They'll all be trying to flee down to the South. I mean, it's hypocritical. They're preposterous hypocrites.
Yes.
And, you know, it's got to be dealt with. It's got to be dealt in a drastic way. And I can't wait till I see actually somebody get arrested for anything. This Mueller, that situation, that was the biggest joke of all time next to this thing. I mean, it's absurd, man. It really is. And, you know, Michael, I had a thing today on the news here in South Florida talking about what you're talking about in West Palm Beach with the illegal voters.
Yes.
The dead people voting. They had a thing on the radio. They're talking about all down here in South Florida. I mean, it only takes one vote to turn an election. You're talking to almost 25,000 dead people and illegals voting in these elections in these states. I mean, Trump better clean this up. He's got to clean this up, or he's going to have a big time getting reelected. I totally agree with you on that.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
I mean, people have got to be arrested. None of this patty cake baker man, stick them in the oven pan here. I mean, come on, start putting the cuffs on these people and put them in the Gray Bar Hotel. You know? It's absurdity. It really is. And, you know, you got this guy Mendez, a senator in New Jersey. That guy should have been thrown in a slammer. I believe he was going on to Epstein's Island. Wasn't he going to Epstein's Island, or he was doing something in Dominican Republic? I think
everybody was going to Epstein's Island, and they were idiots for doing so. I mean, they had to know that it was going to be wired with microphones and cameras, and maybe they didn't care.
Well, you know, Michael, I agree with you on that. And, you know, Bill Clinton, he was going on there numerous times. I already got that logged in, how many times he went there. I don't know if Hillary's ever went down there. Maybe she was trying to get some other kind of agenda. But, you know, I don't know. I mean, I think the state of Israel's got so much dirt on these politicians that if they make one wrong move, they squeak the wrong way, they're going to get popped. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Who knows what videos they got of these? I say they got some guy in England. Was it Philip or some? Who's the guy in England that's got the
Prince Andrew?
Andrew. I mean, who knows what's going on with this technology now? They got all these listening devices. They got cameras watching it. Big Brother's watching everything you do. I think they got cameras up in the toilets anymore. I mean, it's unbelievable. You got Bug Eye Schiff. I mean, I've seen this guy is just unbelievable to me, looking at this Schiff. And, you know, getting back to the cameras and all that, Michael, you remember when Jesse Smollett was trying to get away with this preposterous nincompoop nonsense he was pulling to try to blame Trump's mega red hats and all that. The reason he actually got busted was because of the cameras.
Yes.
Video.
Yep. And
he had these two black guys were pumping iron, and he's trying to say there are two white guys with Trump hats, and they were throwing bleach on it. What was it, 17 degrees out that day?
Yes.
I mean, it's unbelievable what's going on with this criminal element. That's what it is. It's a criminal element. I mean, it's it's preposterous. You know, it's like I don't even. I'm almost speechless with some of the crap I see. You know, but we'll see what happens with this. With this election, I think Joe is right on the money. I think nothing's going to happen with this impeachment. They're going to throw it out the can, they're going to kick the can down the road. Because if these Democrats try to keep pushing this, they're going to get wiped out in the House. And then now, once that happens, I'm going to tell you, you're going to see all the gloves come off then. And one more thing, Michael, and I'll let you go. I know you're going to call us. Did you hear the latest? What's really going on with what I think why this is going on is because Ruth Gator Ginsburg or Dimberg, she's real sick. Did you hear about that?
Yes, yeah, she missed court again today, and again her cancer is resurgent, and she missed court today.
Well, Michael, Joe was talking about have to bring the dogs in to help these demon rats. Can you imagine if Ginsburg kicks off right now? They'd have to bring 1,000 dogs in to save these demon rats from killing themselves. They'd be jumping out of buildings like in 1929.
Yes.
I mean, they'd be jumping out of the buildings because if Ginsburg kicks off or she can't go anymore, she's comatose, whatever. Trump gets to put the woman, what's her name, Bartlett, on that Supreme Court. These Democrats would go crazy, Michael. The media would go insane. Rachel Madcow would have an aneurysm. Madcow and Anderson Pooper and all. I mean, it would be wonderful to see that Ginsburg step down and Trump get another pick on the Supreme Court. To me, that's what it's all
I'll
about.
tell you what's going to happen if Ginsburg steps down, or if she passes. You're going to see the Democrats say that Trump should not be allowed to pick a replacement Supreme Court judge until after the impeachment is over. At which point they're going to have,
absolutely,
in theory, Mike Pence is going to be in the White House.
No, Michael, I agree with you on that. But no, I don't think Mike Pence will get in the White House. Trump's going to keep his position. But yeah, it would blow their brains, the demon rats. They would be on suicide watch, like supposedly Epstein was.
Yeah.
Epstein was supposedly on a suicide watch. And I think if Ginsburg kicks off and Trump gets to put a guy like Bartlett on there or whatever her name, I can't remember her name. You probably know better than me. But if he gets a chance to put a real conservative on the bench again and really let these demon rats have it, full barrel. I'm telling you, these demon rats, it would be an explosion. Like Antifa would be off their rocker. I mean, it's going to happen. You're going to see it because eventually Ginsburg's going to have to step down. That schmuckarooski. She's only 4 foot. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, if she has all this weight, I mean, it's unbelievable what this Ginsburg broad actually does. How liberal she is, and then you got the other one, Sotomayor, screaming about, the poor DACA kids. Give me a break. This is all about the taking down the white angles of this country, Michael, and you well know it, and everybody else knows it in your audience. This is all about. And, it's been exposed. And like Joe was saying in your last hour, hey, man, the gloves are coming off. Now, Trump ain't the greatest president, but I'll tell you what, I've never seen the media in such perplexion that they are right now. They don't know what to think. They don't know what to do except impeachment. It's just amazing to me. And by the way, Mike, what do you think is going to happen if they go along with this 15% income tax deal?
Well, I think American taxpayers are going to be a little bit happy to see their rates go down. One of the things I've noticed lately, just driving around in the car, is all the radio commercials for tax resolution services, which basically signal that a lot of Americans are in trouble with the IRS.
Yep. No, that's right. And, you got this Kudlow out there. You got this guy Moore. They're saying, hey, we're going to cut the taxes. So the demon rats can handle that. I mean, that's another thing, Michael. You hear about the gun control in California. Well, how did this kid, 16-year-old, get a gun to go into school? There's so much great gun control in California. We got the best gun control in the country. Yeah, right.
Well, at least he didn't use an AR-15 or an AK-47. He used a standard 45 caliber handgun, which is why it's not going to play all that well to the gun grabber agenda. That's true.
But we'll see what happens. Like I said, I don't think Trump's going anywhere, Michael. I think he's going to get another 4 years. I don't see him going out of office. No way. Pence will say the vice president, but I don't believe he's going to go to. I don't believe he's going to go to out. I think this like like your last caller an hour ago said, Joe, I don't see Trump. No, I don't see this impeachment even going forward. I really don't. If they do, good, great, let it do it. Let go for it. I think Trump's going to get the House.
I still think Trump's life is in danger. That's how desperate these people are. Okay, we're going to let you go. We've got to take a break for commercials. We've got 4 more callers waiting on the line, and we will be right back.
Folks, this is very important information. What's to be said about CBD? AncientLifeOil.com. Our CBD is made from hemp and has 0.003 THC, which means this wonderful product won't get you high, no matter what amount you take. What does CBD do for the body? My hands are tied, but you can Google CBD benefits and be astounded. When you're finished reading, you'll want to log on to AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com and purchase. Life is good when you feel good. People are tired of pain. People are asking for non-GMO organic products to help them with, you fill in the blank. Legal in 49 states, and again, our CBD is made from hemp. Ancient Life Oil is about helping people one by one by one. If you wonder how good the product is, the CEO takes it every day without miss. AncientLifeOil.com. That's AncientLifeOil.com. Have a great day.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now, but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
When all this twisted steel was swept away, did these remaining holes reveal what's really happened?
And aloha, America. Welcome back to the show. Here we're going to go back to the phones to Mario in Seattle. Aloha, Mario. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hey, how's it going, Mike? Long time no talk.
Well, the snow that we got the other day has pretty much melted away by now.
Nice. Where are you at these days? Last time I heard
I'm
you
in
in Hawaii.
Indiana. I'm in Indiana.
Oh, there you go. Right on. That should be a peaceful, quiet place these days, right?
Well, where we are, definitely.
Nice. So, yeah, obviously, I mean, too many things to talk about. I mean, everything is, it's what they call it, a clown world. It's a lot of ridiculous things happening, the impeachment, entertaining, clowning. It's like, wow, we'll see what's going on with all this stuff. And but pretty much the main thing I wanted to talk about, I'm not sure what I wasn't able to catch your show earlier today, but pretty much the biggest thing that's happened was that Jeff Epstein case. It's crazy that I wanted to hear what your thoughts were on it, because I mean that was a huge deal, and nothing made sense. The DOJ, not surprisingly, closed the case right after he allegedly killed himself.
Yes.
And so I just wanted to hear what you had to say about that.
Well, emphasis on allegedly. I think Epstein is still alive, and I think he basically, because he's got all this blackmail information on all these powerful politicians, and he simply said, "Okay, you're going to fake my death and get me out of here, or I'm going to start releasing some of this information to the public."
Yeah, I mean, it's that, or I mean, everybody's in cahoots with each other. I mean, weren't there reports that he was with the alphabet agencies and who else, what else? And
yes,
I mean, isn't this more or less just witness protection program?
Yeah, something along that line.
So why aren't people? I mean, I've been listening to your show for years, and I've been keeping in touch to the best of my. But everybody's figuring things out. Everybody's waking up. Definitely seems like the good guys are winning, and it's all just one step at a time. But I mean, I really thought that this was going to be like the one that broke the camel's back, where like everybody finally woke up. Like, what's going on with this? Like, this is ridiculous. This billionaire guy, big news for like 1 week, and then all of a sudden he disappears, and everybody forgot about him. All of a sudden, and the DOJ closes the freaking case. I mean, it's like, this can't be any more ridiculous. All the callers that I've been hearing them all say that this is all just ridiculous. But this is just like, what's more ridiculous than this?
No, you're absolutely right here. And I think that his death was faked. We know that nobody did a DNA test on the supposed body of Epstein, so we don't know who that was on the gurney. And it may have been Epstein. It may not have been. They may have just, knocked him out with drugs and wheeled him out on the gurney with his face uncovered so everybody could see it. And like I said, he's probably over in Israel or he's down in the Cayman Islands.
So is there any way for the American people to like overturn or appeal a DOJ? Like, how can they just close the case like that? Like it was nothing that happened. It's like every like the caller right before me, how he's saying that everybody needs to be arrested and there needs to be trials for all these people. This is what I'm talking about. Like this is like the dog and pony show needs to, actually start. And it's like there needs to be like the Nuremberg trials of all these pedogate people and all just these disgusting top elite bonanza that's going on. So yeah, do you know if there's a way to appeal this thing? Would that be a smart choice, or what kind of solutions?
No, it would be kind of futile, because the Department of Justice would simply state that nobody has standing to sue them in this matter, because we're not part of Epstein's family, we're not business associates of him, we're just outsiders.
Wow. And what's this thing about the finders? Is that the most recent pedogate scandal that I've been reading about? I haven't done too much research on that.
Well, I haven't been following along with that too much, but there does seem to be a major problem out there, and it's not just confined to the Catholic Church. And now, of course, we have this associate of Adam Schiff just got arrested for soliciting a 9-year-old girl, or what he thought was a 9-year-old girl, for sexually explicit photos of herself. And first of all, that's sick. That's sick.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, to begin with. And second of all, I don't know. I really don't know what's wrong with these people.
Well, none of us know. None of us know anything, and that's the problem. And apparently, this is just the tip of the iceberg. If you think that is sick, I mean, imagine what they do behind closed doors, and whatever, blackmail or not. I mean, who knows? All you can do is read about all these sources, and you can only do the research yourself. And it all just leads up to like all these people are just, just raping children left and right. Apparently, I don't know what all this is going on. Why are not people, looking into this? Where is the You know, you just hear about like there's like good people in the military, good people in the intelligence community, and then the bad, and you know, all that. So.
All right. Well, Mario, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to let you go here. We got to take a break from commercials. We got more callers waiting on the line, and we will be right back.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
When your doctor tells you you have bad cholesterol or blockages in the arteries, what do? When diet and exercise is not enough, we try medications and hope for the best. For the last 2 decades, I have been telling people about a natural method to help solve these problems and more. Extendovite can help maintain cardiovascular health and lower blood lipid levels in adults. The 7 herbs in Extendovite are known to work together synergistically to get the results we hope for. There are many testimonials on Extendovite's effect on circulatory-related ailments. Get Extendovite today to start your journey back to a healthier life. To order, call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com or see us on amazon.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
Homeowners, are you in foreclosure, expecting to be served with a foreclosure lawsuit, or suspect your lender has coerced you into an illegal mortgage transaction? A huge number of mortgages made in the last 10 years have legal issues and are possibly defective. State laws and the U.S. Supreme Court have upheld that defective mortgage documents are grounds for foreclosure defense and for counterclaims in favor of the homeowner. If your mortgage has been sold or assigned since closing the loan, it may be defective and you may be paying the wrong party, and the lender may not have standing or the right to foreclose or collect payments under the law. If you would like to know if your mortgage is legal or not, or know if you are paying the right party, we can help. Our initial consultations are free of charge. We are not attorneys. We are legal researchers and work closely with experienced lawyers who know how to help you find the evidence to help you keep your home. Call toll-free 1-855-2-KEEP-IT. That's 1-855-2-KEEP-IT today.
Well, they're stealing down on Wall Street and in Washington, too. You know, it makes me wonder, what's a guy on Main Street to do? I've always tried to be an honest, upstanding kind of guy. But I must admit lately, I thought about giving something else a try. Oh, I want to be a pirate. I want to sail the 7 seas, yeah, I want to be a pirate.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show. We're going to go back to the phones to Dustin in New Jersey. Aloha, Dustin. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Well, Mike, first, I got to respond to Tom from Florida on Rachel Maddow. Rachel Maddow. She might be crazy, but she makes $30 million a year. She doesn't really give a crap because it's all, she reads off a script. You think she cares? She don't. In 2 years, she makes $60 million. That's a lot of money.
That is a lot of money.
And Mike, she has probably all those tax loopholes all these other people have, the tax havens in Delaware, all this other crap, because she can afford the lawyers to hide the money around and invest insider trading, whatever. But do you people realize that there's people that will do the same or even more for a lot less? That's why I said yesterday, nothing's changed. Your last caller said the good guys are winning. We're not winning. I'm sorry, but we're losing. Some people are more woken up, but the senior executive staff is still in Washington. That's the people who stay behind after presidents come and go. I said this yesterday, and also politicians come and go. These people are career bureaucrats. They're still behind. They're making six-figure salaries. They like it the way things are. That's why nothing has changed. And like with Trump, I'm still waiting for stuff to be done. Nobody has said no. All this stuff with this witch hunt with Trump, but what it comes down to, Mike, is there's no infrastructure bill. Like I said yesterday, you think there's going to be a tax cut for us serfs ever? Do they want that?
They're talking about it, but whether we'll actually get it or not is another matter entirely.
Yeah, they don't. Mike, they don't. Look, they're all linked, Democrats and Republicans, to Wall Street. That's a fact. Bernie Sanders is even linked to Wall Street. So he can, they all talk tough, but when it comes down to it, they're all going to, wherever they get their funding from, that's who they go with. You can donate your $5 or your $10, but what's that going to do against somebody who donates $1 million? It doesn't do anything. I'm sorry, but it just don't. All those people at the rallies, either for Trump or, that's meaningless. All those people at the rallies that go to Trump, they donate $5. If you got 30,000 people, that's nothing. One person, one of the elite can write a check for double that, So
yes,
our voice don't matter, Mike. I mean, I thought it did, because that's why I voted for Trump. I'm like, but nothing has changed.
No.
And I'm sorry, but there's people, like Tom from Florida said, how come Jesse Smollett, nothing's happened? Didn't he send something to the Postal Service, a threatening letter? No, the federal offense, nothing was done with it.
No.
That could have been done with stuff. So William Barr, do you think he's going to do anything against the establishment / deep state permanent class? No. Jeff Sessions didn't, because he's running for Senate. So I just don't see anything happening. Trump can win another 4 years, but what's changed? Obama was in. They did the coup in Ukraine with Biden and the minions around him, his son and Kerry and all that. But the CIA is still doing the coups, Mike. Like what? Yep. Nothing. Nobody's been pulled out of the system. You know what I mean? Like the system still remains. So it doesn't matter if you vote for Trump or not. He's not. I had hope, like I said, for him, but at this point, when you got Elliot Abrams and Mike Pompeo, and I thought he was going to be an outsider, and he's not, because if he was, he wouldn't have put these people in around him. He would have brought people in outside the Beltway. He brought people in that are from the Beltway. So I just don't see, even though they're going after Trump, that don't mean that there's people in another part of that, like I said yesterday, a faction that's not neoliberal, but they're neocon,
Yes.
So I don't know what to think. It's a game, but just nothing's getting done for the American people because we're watching this joke. Well, whoever's watching this joke, because I didn't even watch this embarrassment of witch hunt, of a fake impeachment, because they know it's not going to do anything.
They didn't run a lot of it today, except for C-SPAN. It wasn't full coverage like they did yesterday. And Trump is a disappointment. There's no two ways about it. And I'm not just saying that because he didn't appoint me director of NASA.
It's just sad, though, Mike. We had the opportunity. We thought, Mike, that's the game. We thought we were. What's that saying? I thought was out, and he pulled me back in. We thought we had somebody who was going to make things different. But at the end of the day, we haven't moved. Like the goalpost actually has moved further away. Nothing's been changed for the average American. It's sad. Like you said, the voting machine. Nothing's been done on that. I mean, and Trump can win 4 more years. But Mike, I want to ask your listeners: what happens after 4 more years of this? It goes back to this. It's still the same. When Trump's gone, it's still going to be the same system. People are still streaming over the border, even if Trump's in or he's not in. What happened to the family who was killed? Because most likely, we all know they're probably smuggling. The Mormon family was linked to the drug cartel.
Yes.
That story's off. Nothing's being done with that, right? Like, is there a federal investigation where they sent the Marines over there or something?
Nope.
It's been off the pages, so nothing's being done. They don't care. They don't care because the system is intact, and that's all they really care about at this point. And
yes.
I'm just, Mike, I get depressed to think about this. Like, just, I want people to think about this. Like, nothing has changed for anybody. Nothing. Trump might have dropped some corporate, things to help the corporations, but how does that help the average human being American? Because Mike, I look at the end of the day, like with what's going on in Bolivia. This is the same crap that went on in Ukraine under Obama. Like,
yes,
and who's running the CIA now? Gina Haspel, right?
Yes, the torture queen herself.
There you go, Mike. So it's the same apparatus, but with a different person as president. And I think Trump, if he really wanted to do something, I swear, Mike, I wish he would put Douglas McGregor in and get these people kicked out or, like Tom says, arrested or something. There's no arrest going on. Where's the arrest? Where's the indictments? People, I'm waiting. Where's QAnon, Mike, when you need him? Where's Superman?
Yes.
It's just, it pisses me off. It just pisses me off how people don't see. And there's still some people who called in thinking QAnon was real. My God, QAnon wasn't real. It was a fraud. It was a fraud.
It's a propaganda tool.
Yeah, it's like, until you get rid of these people, nobody's got, nothing's going to change because nobody's been getting rid of. And we talked about William Barr a while ago. So, all right, Mike, have a good night.
All right, thanks an awful lot. We're going to switch over to Tony in New York. Aloha, Tony. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind? Tony, are you there?
Yes. Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Hope you and Claire are doing well. I just wanted to touch on the Nickerson case that you spoke of the other day. And I don't know if you've discussed it today, but I did a search.
Well, there wasn't much to discuss here because as of the last update we got yesterday is that they were evicted from their properties Tuesday. There was no violence, and I've not received any additional information since then.
Yeah, well, I'm always skeptical when I hear people say my bank wouldn't take my money because I'm Christian. So I did a little research, and I typed in Donna Nickerson mortgage scam, I think I typed in. And I pulled up the Justia.com law case. And it says there that they haven't paid a mortgage payment since 2012. And they keep filing what looks to be like frivolous lawsuits against the bank that took over their loan. It seems like they might be trying one of those things that I know some people do, where they'll postpone the foreclosure and postpone it. And so I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But I know a lot of Christians that hide behind the cross, like you say, and use it for nefarious reasons. And I don't know, if I had to guess, I would say they're full of it. But hopefully everything turns out all right.
Well, you know, John
another thing I wanted-
Stedmiller, John Stedmiller said he went over the paperwork, and as far as he could tell, everything was up to date. Now, I'm also in agreement. I don't think this has anything to do with the fact that they're Christians. This whole thing feels like the Bundy case, where it turns out that what was really going on was that some very powerful politicians coveted the land under the Bundy Ranch, and they didn't want to buy it. Well, first of all, Bundy didn't want to sell it. It's been in his family for years, for generations rather. And I think they just figured, well, if we can't buy it at the price we want to pay, we'll just figure out a way that we're going to take it.
Yeah, I believe the Bundy Ranch was legitimate, but I would bet good money that this case is not. But I could be wrong, and I would lose money. I've lost it before. Another thing I want to discuss was vaccines in New York. You mentioned the other day that, you know, some states, they're going to eventually not allow kids in school. Well, in New York, your kids cannot go to school if they're not up to date with their immunizations. And as a result, my wife and I had to modify our work schedule to homeschool our children.
Yes.
And I tell you, it's amazing. But, you know, like Robert Kennedy Jr. said, it's amazing how the most nefarious and fraudulent corporations in the world get fined billions of dollars. But when it comes to vaccines, it says they found Jesus, right? So obviously, if you look at the history of pharmaceutical companies, they are among the worst of the worst.
Yes.
When it comes to, and one thing that people need to understand is there was a case a while back where Bayer Pharmaceuticals put out a clotting drug called Factor VIII for hemophiliacs in the mid-'80s, and it killed thousands of children. And they knew it was going to kill thousands of children when they pulled it off the market and sold it to other countries with congressional approval. So again, people need to look into that and say, and ask themselves, you know, do these drug companies care about me and my children, or do they care about money? And any logical person would say they only care about money. But people are so distracted, they don't ask any questions. They don't ask, you know, is Trump any different than any other president that we've ever had? And the answer, in my opinion, is no.
Yes.
You know, and Dustin in New Jersey is right. You know, we voted for him because we thought that things would change. And if anybody could change it, it would be Donald Trump. Man, the minute I saw who we appointed in his cabinet, which was just a swamp full of Zionists, I really started to second guess what I had done with my vote. And then when he bombed Syria, which was a joke, I realized he is part of the club that George Carlin talked about, that unfortunately we are not in. So, yeah, and that's all I have to say is people really need to start asking questions. You know, where do the drugs come from that cause, you know, these thousands and thousands of deaths in this country? You know, why don't they eliminate them at the source, which would be very easy to do with some napalm or a brush hog. You know, but it's such a cash cow for the same cabal that gets caught doing it all the time. But people are so distracted by the NFL, the impeachment, baseball, whatever, you know, the Bachelor shows. They don't ask even the most simplest questions. So anyway, I will leave it at that. And thank you for taking my call. And please encourage people to ask questions.
And yeah, vaccines are big business. And it's coming out more and more that vaccines can actually cause more harm than good. This year's flu vaccine is totally ineffective. They're admitting it. They formulated this vaccine for the wrong strain of flu, but they're still out there saying, you need to get the flu shot. You need to get the flu shot. And even the FDA is now admitting that there are chemicals in the vaccines that can make you ill in other ways. But of course, hey, that sends you back to the doctor, back to the hospital, and they make more money off of you. Okay, yesterday Donald Trump met with Erdogan at the White House. He drew a lot of flack on that one. And apparently, the issue of the S-400, Russia's S-400 anti-air system, was front and center. And Erdogan said, well, we're not going to cancel the S-400 because of our strategic ties with Russia. But he said, you know, we're willing to buy the Patriots, if that'll make you feel any better about it. And of course, it won't, because the goal here is to drag Turkey back into the U.S. sphere of influence. And Turkey doesn't want to be part of the U.S. sphere of influence anymore. Okay, apparently Kalashnikov has come out with a new rifle. This is the AK-308 that's chambered for the NATO standard 7.62 by 51 millimeter round, which is going to make it's advantageous for them to be using such a universal round. All righty. New Jersey has just hit Uber with a $650 million tax bill. The stock took a major slide because of that. And there was another story that came on out here, just from Zero Hedge, basically listing the states that are best and worst prepared for another recession. And right up at the top of the list for worst prepared is Hawaii. Got out just in time. Okay, we're going to take a break for commercials. We'll be right back.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org, and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcasts. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
The reviews for Extendivite are amazing. Here are some from Amazon. September 2018. Extendivite works in keeping my blood pressure in the normal range. I've been using Extendivite for many years now. May 2018. Great product. I use regularly and I rarely get sick. March 2018. This product has relieved what appeared to be angina pain in my chest and shortness of breath after climbing stairs. I'm quite happy about it. February 2018. My husband, son, and I have been using this product for a few months now, and we have noticed an improvement in our joints and blood pressure. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. To order, call 1-877-928-8822. That's 1-877-928-8822, or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
OMG! People are jumping on board to the Life Change Tea Regiment. Brew, steep, and drink for a gentle, taste great cleanse. It's changing how they feel. See what everybody's talking about. Log on to getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com. Life Change Tea aids in digestive slowdown and helps people get moving down a healthy path. We won't make claims. We'll just let you decide. Experience is much better than a commercial anyway. If you want results, log on to getthetea.com and purchase your super strength cleansing tea. You won't be disappointed. And if you're looking for some mind-body suggestions, go to YouTube and punch in the search bar Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now. Put power into your health now. So, getthetea.com. That's getthetea.com for super strength tea. And YouTube, Health Matters Now. That's Health Matters Now for valuable suggestions. Getthetea.com. The tea that makes you go.
We will not go down. can burn up our mosques and our homes and our schools, but our spirit will never die. We will not go down in Gaza tonight. Women and children alike.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show here. We're talking about the economic news. And apparently Fiat Chrysler is trying to stuff the dealer channels with over 40,000 cars. There's a huge surplus out there. The prices are very, very low. And I've noticed how many car companies are trying to push this idea of buying somebody a car as a Christmas present, which that's a heck of a Christmas present, let's be honest. There's a lot out there. Now, apparently, over in China, a quarter of German companies that are operating there are now planning to leave China. And apparently 71% blame increasing labor costs, 33% cited unfavorable policy environment, 25% said it was because of the US-China trade war, and 22% said it was market access barriers. Oh, there we are. Max Kaiser is out there saying that China secretly is hoarding gold and will unleash a crypto backed by metals, which will destroy the US dollar. And the US dollar is already being destroyed. They don't need China to do it. I mean, if you look at the massive inflation that is being caused by all of this quantitative easing or whatever they're calling it this time, and we always talk about how the Federal Reserve is just creating this money out of thin air, but it does have this effect of diluting, if you will, the dollar supply. We've been talking about Disney's new streaming channel, Disney Plus, and the good news is they did in one day what took HBO 4 years, 10 million streaming subscribers. That's the good news. The bad news is that Disney has launched and the pirates are already all over it. Now, the initial rollout for Disney Plus is limited to the United States, Canada, and the Netherlands, which apparently was too much for the pirates to take. And apparently a big part of it was driven by Star Wars fans that want to watch the highly anticipated Mandalorian series. So already pirated copies are showing up on websites and dark sites all over the world. Okay, apparently one of these series that is being run on Disney Plus is The Simpsons, but they have decided to pull the episode with Michael Jackson. And this was a very popular episode back in 1991, where Michael Jackson voiced one of the characters and for which he also wrote a song. But because of the Neverland scandal, it was pulled from the air and will not be returning. Okay, we're going to take a break now for commercials, actually for station identification. We'll be right back.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
You're listening to Republic Broadcasting Network because you can handle the truth.
What really happened with your host, Mike Rivero? The history the government hopes you never learn. Here is your host, Michael Rivero.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show, hour number 3. The phone lines are open, 800-313-9443. And this next story is very troubling. Apparently down in Mexico, a 7-year-old boy was literally beaten to death by his mother because he refused to dress like a girl. And apparently the mother is a lesbian, and there was another woman involved, possibly a lover, and they just beat this kid to death because he wouldn't put on a dress. This is just insane. This is absolutely insane. All right, as you know, California has been dealing with these horrendous wildfires, and somebody started a rumor about the fire that swept over the Santa Susana laboratory, which is this laboratory. Most people in Los Angeles don't know it was there, but they did radioactive testing there. They did chemical weapons testing there. And people were very concerned that the fire sweeping over the property would release toxic substances, including radioactive ash. Now, the state of California, for what it's worth, is out there saying, no, it didn't happen. These rumors of radioactive ash are unsubstantiated. In this day and age, I'm not sure I would even believe them. Okay. All right. Now, as one of our callers mentioned earlier, there's been another shooting, this one in Southern California, in the city of Santa Clarita. And the shooting was reported at the Saugus High School on Thursday morning. And initially, they said the shooter was dead, but they're now saying basically 2 people were killed. The rest were wounded and taken to the hospital. And the shooter tried to commit suicide, is severely injured. He's in the hospital. Apparently, he did this on his 16th birthday. No AK-47s, no AR-15, just a classic .45 caliber handgun. But I want to know if this kid was on antidepressants. Apparently, he was upset over the death of his father. And yeah, I got that one already. Okay. Now, let's talk about computers here. We've been talking about this scam that's out there where you'll get an email saying, we planted malware on your computer that is watching you while you're watching porn, and it makes a split screen video of what you're looking at and what you're doing when you look at the porn. And it is a scam. A lot of people have fallen for it. But apparently over at Proofpoint, security experts say that somebody actually did this. They created a malware that allows hackers to capture video from the webcam without them knowing. The software known as XiXBot only works on computers running Microsoft Windows and is often loaded onto a computer without the user knowing. It can be installed through a disreputable website or by downloading a video, music file, or software that is carrying it. And once XiXBot has been installed on the victim's machine, it sits in the background waiting for the user to open a web page with a specific pornography-related keyword in the title. So I guess they kind of got tired of people saying this is nonsense. And they came on out and they actually made one. So, little piece of advice. If you are in fact looking at porno sites, put a piece of Scotch tape over your webcam. Now, apparently another cyber threat that is manifesting itself across the country are attacks on retirement accounts, where they're hacking on into the elderly's retirement accounts, and they're just emptying them. Seems to care about that. All right, over at Intel, apparently, despite reports to the contrary, Intel has failed to fix the dangerous zombie load flaw affecting chips in millions of devices made by Apple, Microsoft, and Google. And apparently, security experts at Vrije University in Amsterdam said a variant of a previously documented riddle and zombie load flaws continue to expose Intel chips' internal architecture and jeopardize sensitive information like passwords and other data. And these flaws have persisted despite multiple patches issued by Intel, who has claimed the issue has been fully rectified. And apparently, after 6 months, the flaws are still there. Okay. There we go. All right, Microsoft has gone back to some behavior that I think is going to trouble a lot of people. If you're on Windows 10 version 1803, updates are going back to being automated. You want to make sure you have the latest and greatest of whatever patches that they're putting in there. The problem with that being that so many of the recent Microsoft patches have actually caused more damage than good. All right, we're going to do a shout out now to our on-air affiliates who are just now rejoining the network here. Over in Memphis, Tennessee, Mayor Jim Strickland and the Memphis Police Department are trying to basically get a ban on public surveillance lifted. This goes back to a 1978 consent decree barring them from conducting political surveillance. And they're saying it limits our ability to fight crime. They're admitting this is political. Surveilled. All right, we've all heard the expression conflict diamonds or blood diamonds. The new buzzword, though, is conflict minerals. This gets back to those rare earth elements which are in high demand for modern electronics and in short supply. And so companies that need these minerals are willing to go into countries where there's ongoing wars, where the warring parties understand that if they produce these rare earth elements, they can sell them for the money to continue the fight. And as we see this race to 5G, we're probably going to see it get a lot worse. Okay. Addis Ababa announced on Wednesday the completion of the construction of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, Saddle Dam, in an elevation of not more than 600 meters. Now, this has been a bone of contention between Ethiopia and Egypt. And the reason is because Egypt is concerned that the water being trapped by the dam means there'll be less water for Egypt downstream. And so now the new argument is that Ethiopia wants a filling period of 3 years. And Egypt is saying, no, you got to stretch it out to 7, or we're not going to have enough water to do what we need to do. Now, the United States recently hosted negotiations between the two countries and Sudan with the presence of the World Bank. And the negotiations led to an agreement to announce a 2 months negotiation time about the filling period with the participation of the World Bank. I'm not sure why the World Bank is in there, but that's always going to be a problem when you build a dam, is how it impacts the water flow downstream. And I remember out in China when they built the Three Gorges Dam, there was a lot of tremendous unhappiness there. So I'm hoping that there'll be a peaceful resolution and that we don't get to the situation where somebody drops a bomb on the dam, which has happened. Dams that are basically blocking too much water downstream get sabotaged. All right, down in Cuba, there was this Cuban baby who died 3 days after receiving the MMR shot, and apparently several other children were made seriously ill by it. The parents went out on social media to say, hey, this is dangerous and this is what happened. They got visited by agents of the government and told to stop posting to social media or they would be arrested for spreading disinformation. Parents have since moved to Mexico. It's all about the money here. Okay, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has now produced Vaxxed 2, The People's Truth. It's hitting the theaters now, and the pro-vaccine propaganda machine has been activated. Oh, how could you say this about vaccine? Vaccines, they're a miracle cure. They're a miracle drug. Can't say bad things about that at all. Yeah, they are. And even the FDA is saying that, yeah, there's stuff in these vaccines that can cause harm. I think it was last week we were talking about how they have identified a human genome, fragments of a human genome from an aborted baby, thank you Planned Parenthood, that apparently contained genes that could activate pro-cancer cells in the human body. Oh, good, more money, more money. Sell them chemotherapy, something like that here. The CDC is raising an alarm over the surge of drug-resistant superbugs infecting 3 million Americans annually and killing 4 people every hour. They're not very good about this. All righty, there was a report that came out about a week ago and it claimed that there were 11,000 scientists who were warning about an impending climate emergency. And Rush Limbaugh basically came on out reporting on a story from the group Powerline, which discovered that these 11,000 so-called scientists weren't actually scientists at all. There was no study, it was just a press release. It was 11,000 random people who put their names on a website. The bald-faced lie. Fell for this idea that cow farts are destroying the atmosphere. Okay, there's been a 7.4 magnitude earthquake that struck off the Indonesian coast. A tsunami alert has been issued for the Indonesian coast after this earthquake struck. No immediate reports about casualties or damages. According to the USGS, the quake occurred at a depth of 45 kilometers. That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. Okay, now then, phone lines are open. 800-313-9443. And oh, you're going to love this one. You're going to love this one. Up in Durham, New Hampshire, there is an organization that is basically trying to remove Christmas. And the organization pushing for the removal of Christmas in Durham is New Hampshire Listens, which is a national partner of Everyday Democracy. And what they're out there saying is that Christmas decorations have religious symbols in them, which people of different religions will find offensive. Oh my goodness, it's going to be offensive. And they're demanding the city change the decorations around. Instead of the wreaths that traditionally brighten Main Street, they say it's too much of a Christmas overtone, and they wanted to replace them with more generic decorations such as snowflakes or stars. But that's a problem because the city did not budget money for new decorations. So no wreaths and no other decorations. This is really, really ridiculous. I remember we had this situation come up in Honolulu, where all these groups are saying, "Oh, we can't have Christmas decorations; they're offensive. They're going to offend people." And yet, all the Hanukkah decorations were there. Dreidels, the menorahs, that was all there. Nobody was complaining about that here. Anyway, speaking of Christmas, Sears is laying off hundreds of corporate employees after announcing 96 more store closings just before the holiday shopping season. What does that tell you about our economy here? Apparently, Sports Illustrated is pulling back their publication to a single monthly issue. It's not doing very good here. Over in Baltimore, they hit 300 homicides for the 5th year in a row. Baltimore mayor is saying the leadership is not to blame for the homicide rate. He says, I'm not committing the murders. Apparently, pro-communist protesters are now marching in the streets of Hong Kong, saying that civil war is now a definite possibility. 70% of Americans say they are struggling financially. Sounds about right. Over in Tacoma, Washington, the city council has approved new taxes on guns and ammunition. All righty. Talked about the school shooting. I mean, this is ridiculous, the therapy dogs for the House members. Senate Democrats joined the GOP to back an automatic austerity bill that would gut social programs and hamstring bold policies, taking away more and more money from you, and they're not sending it back. Pouring it all over Israel, they're pouring it all over Wall Street, they're pouring it all over the war machine. Now, Nancy Pelosi has come on out late in the day and saying that she has evidence of bribery involving Donald Trump. And she chose that word carefully because that is listed as one of the high crimes and misdemeanors leading to impeachment in the Constitution. Rand Paul is now out there demanding testimony from the whistleblower. Alrighty. You know, this next story cuts to something I was saying earlier in the program. And that is that law enforcement is being restrained from doing their job. And American leftists began hating on local police, accusing them of murdering black people and generally trampling on people's rights. The American left is out to destroy the social fabric of our country. It's amazing here. Okay, we already talked about the outdated cultural depictions. And they're starting to publish the snow totals from this last storm that we had. Now, I keep hearing that there's supposed to be more snow out there, but it doesn't seem headed for here in Indiana, which is good. I've had enough snow so far. But over in the Northeast, 16 inches, 13 inches, 12 inches, 11, 11, 11. We got about 2 down here. Looks like Trump is set to raise $2 billion for his 2020 campaign. So that's going to be tough to overcome. Okay, we got to take a break for commercials. Join us on the air, 800-313-9443, and we'll be right back.
Hey, this check is wrong. I worked a holiday and 7 hours of overtime. Not getting paid correctly is a real pain. It could also hurt our boss if our company provides out-of-compliance checks. That's right. Construction companies doing business with the government can get fined, or officials of the companies can go to jail if the checks aren't right. It's a law. The Davis-Bacon Act has 30 compliance issues for every check. But there is an easy way for construction companies to be in compliance. EMARS offers Compliant Client, a web-based system that finds and corrects all 30 of the possible out-of-compliance check issues. Users of Compliant Client report an 80% savings in time and money. Running a weekly payroll usually takes about 5 minutes. All 15,000 plus clients of EMARS have never had a legal compliance issue. Plus, they sleep better on check day. Contact EMARS at emarsinc.com or call 480-595-0466.
Folks, we're living in a world the likes of which we've never perceived any clearer than we do now. The plan for global governance has been in the works for generations and would have likely been achieved by now but for the fact that the globalists left open their Achilles heel. With all their tools, Federal Reserve System, fiat currency, no child left behind, and then Common Core education introduced to our schools to dumb us down, vaccines, pharmaceuticals to lobotomize us, GMO foods, insertion of compromised or bought and paid for politicians, judges, mainstream media propaganda, all pieced together like a puzzle designed to ultimately bring the world under submission. But with all their strategy, they forgot one thing: knowledge. And knowledge is power. With knowledge, their bombardment is nullified. Folks, with that, as brilliant and knowledgeable as you've become, among the wisest audience of any radio audience in the world, and you are, I want you to take a moment to reflect and ask yourself, how much of that knowledge did I obtain from Republic Broadcasting Network? How high has my consciousness been raised since I've been a listener? How fast am I now able to discriminate truth from fake news by being a Republic Broadcasting listener? How clear am I now able to see the world since I've been listening to RBN? Ask yourselves those questions, folks. Then ask yourself, what is that knowledge worth to me? Like my morning coffee, how would I survive without it? A voice of truth in a sea of lies. Do we not all need to make sure it survives? Like public broadcasting, we are now finding we can only survive with listener support. Censorship, advertisers being attacked, truth itself being attacked. It's the only way through this. We at Republic Broadcasting humbly ask you to become a supporter. Look at your budget and make a determination of what Republic Broadcasting is worth to you and what you can afford on a monthly basis. Go to republicbroadcasting.org and pledge 20, 30, 40, 50, if possible, 100 a month or more if it's affordable. Click the donate button and become a regular monthly donor. Assure both us and yourself that Republic Broadcasting truth will continue to flow like that morning coffee. The network thanks you.
What this country is coming to, I sure would like to know. If they don't do something by and by, the rich will live and the poor will die. Doggone, the panic is on. Can't get no work, can't draw no pay. Unemployment getting worse every day.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to the show. And I just got an email with an update on the Disney Plus channel and the Simpsons episode. And apparently the decision not to air the Michael Jackson episode was not Disney's, but the show's producers. So we get that a little bit corrected. All right, this last Arctic blast that came through here set 300 new cold temperature records. Saying might be more than 200, turned out to be 300. Apparently down in Chile, protesters massing together green pocket lasers managed to bring down a police drone. Think it could be done, but who knows? All righty. Apparently Venice got flooded. Highest tide in 50 years. They get bad floods in Venice, Italy. Really, really do. Okay. Now, Donald Trump, apparently, when he visits the Queen of England next week, is going to be knighted. And I'm sure that's going to feed his vanity like you wouldn't believe. But there's a little bit of a wrinkle there. And it's called the Titles of Nobility Clause in the Constitution. Now, the Queen can knight him, and it can be taken very seriously in Great Britain. But here in the United States of America, it's meaningless. Symbolic at best. So I refuse to call him Sir Donald. What can I tell you here? Righty. Okay, our phone lines are open, 800-313-9443. And it was cold. There's no question about that. Now, the snow is all but melted now. And we're going to have at least a week of sunny skies. But winter will come back. No question about that whatsoever. Alrighty, apparently over at Party City, Halloween was a disaster. Their revenue stream was down 21% from the previous year. And in part, it's because people just don't have the money to buy the stuff. And the other part of it is that everybody's scared to buy a costume that might offend somebody. Ever did we become such sissies? Really? All right, let's see. About Venice already. Apparently, PayPal has abruptly cut off Pornhub. Those of you who are into that sort of thing here. Germany has managed to escape recession for now, but they're wondering what's going to happen next. And let's see. We talked about the taxes on the guns. Talked about the therapy dogs. We need to send those Democrats on the House committee, cans of Play-Doh and blister pack, them to pop. So, apparently, Amazon is now being accused of harming Americans by allowing Chinese manufacturers to sell harmful and mislabeled products to U.S. consumers. Oh, and we have a caller waiting on the line, which I'm going to wait until after this next commercial break, and then I'll come back to you here. Okay. Apparently, there was this off-duty cop was speeding at 94 miles per hour, got into a crash that killed a baby, didn't even get a ticket. Not even get a ticket. All right. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and start with Brett in Rockford, Illinois, and I'm going to take you to the next commercial break. What's on your mind?
Yeah, you were talking about the harvest season in the Midwest.
Yes.
And it's like there's snow on the ground, and there's like half of the crop is still in the field. And not really good harvesting conditions at the moment. So, and the crops got put in late, so they're like higher in moisture than what they were like normally harvested at. So they're having to pay the elevators more to dry it down so that they can actually sell the grain.
Yeah, it's a big problem here. And again, it's poor land management. Now, obviously, we can't do anything about the snow, but definitely in terms of the flooding to delay the start of the growth season.
That was a big issue to get the crops in the first place.
Yeah, it was. All right, well, listen, Brett, we're going to let you go here. We got more callers waiting on the line, and we'll be right back.
You are tuned in to the Republic Broadcasting Network. Visit our website by going to republicbroadcasting.org.
Tired of being lied to by mass media? It's growing more and more apparent today that news is received less and less through standard media outlets. Even with a growing audience every day, RBN is beginning to direct more efforts into social media. Social media and the use of the internet is fast becoming the primary source of people for news, regardless of demographic. RBN has set out to provide some of the best news on the internet through republicbroadcasting.org, and also has begun to use the tools to our advantage by way of social media. Republic Broadcasting is now operating a Facebook page to function as yet another avenue to have our collective voice reach new audiences across not only America, but across the globe as well. The Facebook page features not only news, but also an RBN player to listen to our broadcasts. Get involved by visiting facebook.com/Republic Broadcasting and liking our page and share it with your friends and family, because you can handle the truth.
Many people write us about their experience with Extendivite. Allow me to read you some from Amazon.com. This product is superb. I have been taking it for about a year now, and I can feel my cardiovascular system run like a Swiss watch. I definitely recommend this product for anyone that has high cholesterol, high blood pressure, and heart palpitations, A+. It's potent, but it works. I have been waking up for the past 3 years with numb hands, and a week into using Extendivite, my numb hands seem to have cleared up. My circulation was off, and now it's back on track. So I'm happy. I feel so energized, and I have my husband on it now. My mother-in-law has cholesterol problems, so I bought her a bottle as well. Thank you so much. Love the product. Tell us your story. Get Extendivite today. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Talk Right, the conservative app offered by TalkStream Live that caters exclusively to the conservative talk radio community. Here you'll see only talk shows and podcasts from the conservative right. All the big broadcast names and online digital shows in one place. Talk Right makes it easy to find all your favorite conservative talkers with all the upscale features you come to expect from TalkStream Live. Keep up with the fast-paced political world. Download Talk Right today from Google Play or the App Store.
Hey, is that a new music app?
Yeah, check it out. Surfer Music Discovery. It links to thousands of online stations, but the twist is you see the song names and artists that are now playing live.
That's different. No guessing. Looks like a waterfall of music.
So many formats. Rock, oldies, country, R&B, jazz, and a whole lot more.
How's that spelled?
Surfer. S-U-R-F-R.
Is it expensive?
It's free. No need to sign up or sign in.
Get the Surfer Music app free from Google Play or the App Store.
Some are maxed out all their credit cards. Some are working 2 jobs and living in cars. Minimum wage won't pay for a roof, won't pay for a drink. If you gotta have proof, just try it yourself, Mr. CEO. See how far $5.15 an hour will go. Take a part-time job at one of your stores. I bet you can't make it here anymore.
And aloha, America. Welcome back to the show here. We're going to go back to the phones to Jim in Brooklyn. Aloha, Jim. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hi, Mark. Yeah, a couple of things you were talking about. You were talking about the rare earth metals that were necessary for certain industrial purposes. Now, I don't know if you covered this. I heard in the news a couple of days ago that I think in Bolivia, in a tract of land that is owned by indigenous people, that there was found a large mine or amount of lithium.
Yes.
And the people there were trying to protect their land and keeping the miners out of there. And similar to that, the Chinese, I'm sure you've talked about it, have been cozying up with African nations and helping them with their infrastructure for free in order to take the rare earth minerals out of the land. This affects the prices a lot because China does sort of have a corner on the market. There was a time when I was using these certain rare earth magnets for certain purposes, large, powerful ones. They're called neodymium magnets, and that's owned by China. Now, also with regard to Africa, you're talking about the Ethiopian dam. It's interesting because people should realize when they say the Nile goes from south to north. So when they say the Upper Nile, it means actually the Southern Nile. I'm sure you know that. But a lot of people don't realize that. And with regard to the shootings, and it ties in with he talks about taking Vermont taking Christmas out of the holiday. Well, you know already that I'm actually Jewish. I'm an Orthodox Jew. Well, when people lose their religion, no matter what it is, it opens up a vast, empty wasteland. Now, I know you claim to be I don't know if you're an atheist or an agnostic. I'm not pinning this on you because you have certain sensibilities. But in our schools, where all this weird stuff is going on with the question your gender and et cetera, so the students are being their minds are being juggled around and they're being abandoned spiritually. And these shootings, you could, part of it could be those SSR drugs and all kinds of other things. But the main thing I think is that there's spiritual wastelands, and people are getting not just neutralized by it from their values, but they're developing a rebellious attitude towards things in general, more than they would be as teenagers. And with regard to the north, the high snowfall, I think that one of the places that got 15 inches might have been Buffalo, New York. Is that right?
Yeah, because that was one of them.
Usually, Buffalo is, you're up near the Great Lakes, but Buffalo is on the far eastern end of the Great Lakes. And all of that moisture is picked up and dumped on Buffalo every year.
Yeah, it's lake effect.
Yeah. Okay, so I just wanted to touch on those subjects, and enjoyed the show.
Well, thank you very much here. I mean, where Claire and I are living right now, we're in the middle of 3 lakes.
Yeah.
There's one over there, there's one over there, there's one over there, but it didn't produce lake effect here. All right, we're going to go to Sam in Indiana. Aloha, Sam. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Hi, Mike. Welcome to Indiana. I call it occupied Indiana, the open-air prison camp of the United States. I guess you'd call me a ranger. I've listened to you for years. I appreciate your information and discussion. But things are a lot worse in Indiana than people think. And it's due to the censoring. I mean, it's so bad. We got VA retaliation to deal with. If we have problems there, it goes out into civilian health care. We've got the censoring. We've got high rates of veteran suicide and even children committing suicide. And they won't report on it. It's so bad here. People say they're waking up or to contact senators or congressmen. I've contacted everybody. And the more people I contact, the more enemies I make.
Yeah.
I can't even get a smart meter off my house. It's so bad that civilian hospital here, will not release my medical files to me so I can find health care. That's how bad it is here.
Well,
and there's no help to be found anywhere.
Fortunately, where Claire and I are living, so far it's been very pleasant except for the snow. We understand that up in Indiana, or rather Evansville and Indianapolis, especially on the western side of those cities, that things really are kind of bad.
I'm in West Central, and we can't get Indianapolis news. That's how censored we are. We get WTIU, PBS, and 2 local channels, and that's it. And they won't report. You know, if you call in, I had a friend killed. I asked why it wasn't reported. And then I more or less got into trouble and put on the evil network for wanting it reported. But it's mafia families, kids that run over him on his bicycle. There's too much stuff going on, so I'm not buying this waking up thing. But you wanted first-time callers, and I thought, well, this would be a good chance for me. I called in to John Statmiller once and asked what we do out here if we're on our own. I mean, this is Democrat-filled. There's no Republican Party in Indiana. If there is, I'd like to know about it. It's like Mitch Daniels. He was a governor, supposed to be a Republican. He takes a trip to Israel, comes back, and now he's president of Purdue University, pulling everything leftist. You know, we got to drop the pronouns and him and her, and, you know, it's really bad here. And I've contacted everybody I can think of, Health and Human Services, Human Relations, ACLU, and they say everything that's happening to me, health records being withheld, harassment, death threats, you know, as long as it's done in a nice manner with a smile, it's fine. And it's like I wanted that smart meter removed. They come out, created a short at the pole, and if I wouldn't have been home, I had my truck, I'd carry a sign in my truck about the corruption. I had that stuck in the woods. Nobody's seen it, and if I wouldn't have been home, my house would have burnt down. And they still refuse to remove that smart meter. And the whole town's run by nothing but Democrats. There's no voting them out. The majority of people here don't vote. So it's horrible here. We're censored so bad, public library's horrible. No archive news. Can't trust anybody. It's so bad I've had to get a dash cam and a body cam because I've had people come in off the streets. They know what's in my medical file. You know, it's horrible. And there's no way to network. You know, if we try to network with Christians or other veterans, we're hated by veterans. We're called racist. You know, it's crazy, Mike. I'm open for suggestions from anybody out there that knows what's going on instead of cheerleaders here that support all this stuff. It's really crazy. People are just too afraid to speak up. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, down here in our part of Indiana, we're down in the south, near the Kentucky border. We're not seeing these problems that you're talking about.
No, I've been down your way before. That's a lovely area, but people I talk to were more on the left side, and they're away from the college influence all of them claim to have. Because that's a major problem here is the college influence they're bragging about.
Okay.
I'm just glad you guys found a good safe spot, and you and Claire are getting settled in. I hope she gets better. And, you know, like I said, I've enjoyed your program and info for years. And I hope you can keep up on it, and I'll try to call in until they kill me.
All right. Well, good luck, and we're going to let you go here. And phone lines are open again, 800-313-9443. So there we go. All righty. Interesting little story. Apparently Best Buy was selling a line of smart home gadgets. And apparently they have made them dumb again. And Best Buy, because the gizmos are still partially functional, all they offered was a gift card, except in the case of the Wi-Fi equipped camera, which quit working entirely. But it's a reminder that all of this stuff, this Internet of Things, it goes through a remote server somewhere. Okay. Over in Hong Kong, the authorities are set to announce martial law and a curfew for all of Hong Kong. It's getting tense over there. It really, really is. Okay, Windows and Linux get the options to disable Intel TSX to prevent the zombie load v2 attacks. You know, they put the stuff in. All right, let's see. Boy, there's nothing else to talk about right now. So, all right, I'll be with you in just a second here. I literally ran out of talking points. All right, the Fed's 2% inflation target has been declared an absurd, random, weighted average spaghetti bowl of wildly divergent prices. Attorney General William Barr is saying the FISA report release is now imminent. I'll believe it when I see it. And it just feels like it's probably already been sanitized. Talked about Party City. Alrighty. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what's going on with this impeachment situation. Again, it's boring to watch. And unlike yesterday, the major news networks did not provide live ongoing coverage except for C-SPAN. And it gives them the luxury of cherry picking quotes, presenting them and saying, see, this is what's going on. And I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, they're pushing so hard, and I wish Trump would at least look like he's fighting back. And I realize that there are legal reasons why he can't, but it almost seems like he doesn't care anymore. And maybe he doesn't. Maybe at this point in his first term in office, he's out there saying one term is going to be enough. Okay, apparently Dustin in New Jersey called back in, and what is on your mind?
Hey, Mike, I forgot that somebody called in saying like China was in Bolivia. Of course they were, but did you know that Germany, there's this company from Germany that was looking to make a deal with Morales in Bolivia. And I forgot if you can look it up, this German company's name. But did you hear about Elon Musk? He tweeted out something. This was supposedly after the coup. It said Giga Germany. Now that's nuts, right? Because Tesla needs lithium batteries, right?
Yes.
And the companies from Germany that was looking at making a deal with Morales, because I think that the company, that's all state-owned, right? The lithium company is state-owned because basically it's run by an oligarchy, but they have to put some money in to the civilian population. That's the deal. And I guess certain people in the oligarchy don't like that, so, but the thing is, they're making a deal looking to making a deal with Germany for the lithium mining. And, of Because with these people, they want it all. They don't want to make.
Yes.
They don't want to use like 10% of it to fund like roads and stuff. They want 100%. But isn't that a coincidence, Mike? Like the German company who was looking into this mining deal with the lithium company, and then Elon Musk emails this Giga Germany Twitter thing out after the coup. Yeah. So do you see how it's all linked together? All corporations. It's because the United States is a corporation, but along with Britain and France, it's all a small group of people that go into a country like France, Britain, and the United States with Syria to try to put a pipeline in, or with Hillary Clinton with the cement factory. That's what it's all about, people. It's not about bringing democracy to the masses. They don't give a crap, because if they cared about democracy, they wouldn't be supporting Saudi Arabia and Israel.
True.
But I wanted to leave people. I wanted to leave people with that because somebody said China. Yeah, China was involved in also with a deal which also has to do with geopolitics, with blocking China from cornering the market, like that one caller says in lithium, in rare, in minerals, not rare earth. It's just minerals. Rare earth is the process of not mining, but of processing it. That's what makes it rare, I believe, right?
No, these are minerals that are in short supply. It's a group of about, I think it's 19 different minerals. And it's not like China has cornered the market. China just happens to be blessed with huge natural reserves of these rare earth minerals. The United States has its own rare earth minerals, but nowhere near as much. And these are going to be key elements, in future electronics. Anyway, listen, Dustin, got to let you go. Got one more segment of the show. Got 2 callers waiting on the line, and we'll be right back.
Homeowners, if your lender has gone out of business or sold your transaction to another lender or servicer, you may be the victim of a wrongful foreclosure, resulting in the loss of your home. If you've already lost your home, are in foreclosure, or even in good standing, you can challenge the mortgage transaction's illegal issue, and your property can be restored to you, and your foreclosure can be stopped or reversed, and the mortgage transaction declared unenforceable. State laws, U.S. title codes, the Uniform Commercial Codes, and U.S. Supreme Court rulings have upheld that defective mortgage documentations can reverse or stop foreclosures and enforce property title claims in favor of the homeowner. We are having successes in stopping the process of foreclosure, the enforcement of the foreclosure judgments, the sale of property, and evictions after the sale. We are not attorneys, and we don't give legal advice. We are a professional team of legal researchers, providing forensic mortgage audits and expert witnesses. We have the knowledge to produce the evidence and enforce laws regarding your legal issues. We've been in business for 12 years without a complaint. Consultations are free, and we provide a free title search to confirm if your mortgage has legal defects. Please call 855-253-3748. 855, keep it today.
Don't regret growing old. It's a privilege denied to many. Heart disease is taking our youth from us. Young people in their 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond are dying needlessly. One of the hardest messages I've ever had to deliver is to convince people that something natural like Extendivite should be taken as a preventative measure. I'm sure you heard an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Extendivite is that ounce. Take Extendivite for 1 year and see what your doctor has to say and how much better you feel. Herbs take time to address the problem. It took years of life to have a problem. Give Extendivite 1 year to fix the problem. Don't wait until it's too late. Call 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com or visit us on Amazon.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Corporate media dominates the American opinion. Finding independent voices that counter this avalanche is becoming increasingly difficult. With the endless corruption running rampant throughout our government, independent voices are needed more than ever to battle the offensive against our freedoms and liberties. As a listener of RBN, no one understands this concept better than you. Now it's up to you to do your part. The time has come for you to take action and begin broadcasting the truth to hundreds or thousands of people every month. Sound impossible? Quite the contrary. With pointed slogans from LibertyStickers.com, you can reach countless sleeping Americans unaware that they live in a real-life wonderland. LibertyStickers.com has a huge inventory of political bumper stickers and messages that reflect the truth about our government, our politicians, and the future of America. With so many in stock, there's one perfect for you. Visit us today at LibertyStickers.com. Again, that's LibertyStickers.com. Do your part. Your voice is important. Let it be heard.
What this country is coming to, I sure would like to know. If they don't do something by and by, the rich will live and the poor will die. Doggone, the panic is on. Can't get no way, can't draw no pay. Unemployment getting worse every...
And aloha, America. Welcome back to our show. Last segment of our program today. We've got two callers on the line. I'm going to try and fit them both in. Let's go to Eric in Tennessee. Aloha, Eric. What's on your mind today?
Aloha, Michael. I'm just wondering if you're able to take Bitcoin again for donations.
I'll have to look into it. Somewhere down the road here. I mean, we're still getting settled in here. My next project is to get the mixer and the dual headsets in here so I can get Claire back on the air. And there is just so much to put together, but somewhere down the road, I'll take a look at that.
I know what you mean. Yeah, for sure. When you mentioned crypto gold, that was one of the countries doing that. Was it China or
China
or something?
China.
Well, there is already a crypto gold currency out there. I don't know if you're aware of that or not. And it's currently on the 9 different exchanges where you can buy it for less than 2 cents a coin, and it's actually backed by physical gold. So it's a pretty interesting concept.
What is it called?
Other than that, it's called KBC, Carrot Bank Coin. Remember Carrot Bars way back when?
Yeah, I remember the Carrot Bars, yeah.
There was some discussion. Okay, well, the Carrot Bars came out with their own cryptocurrency that's actually backed by a gold mine. And guaranteed down the road to be worth at least $1.32 based on the amount of gold they're pulling out of the mine. So I invested in quite a bit of it early on. I bought it really cheap, so it's but it's a viable alternative right now to buy crypto gold. And with crypto gold, you can transfer it anywhere on the planet in a matter of seconds for almost no cost. Through the blockchain technology.
Yes.
So just something to make you aware of. And also, are you still in need of some winter clothes for both you and Claire?
I need to buy some boots this weekend, but actually we're in pretty good shape.
You are? Okay, great. Because I had some stuff put aside here, and I was going to get a hold of you and to see if you needed it. And if you still do, you know how to get a hold of me. And I'll be more than happy to drive up and drop it off. Okay, take care, Mike. Have a great night.
All right, we're going to take one more phone call from Terry in California. Aloha, Terry. Welcome to the show. What's on your mind?
Mike, real quick, did you talked about that person that told what happened to their kid that got the vaccination, and who was that called them and threatened them to arrest them? Was that a U.S. federal government agency?
No, it was down in Cuba.
Oh, Cuba. Okay. Okay. That's all, Mike. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Thanks an awful lot. Yeah. The child died just 3 days after getting the MMR shot. The parents went public on social media, and they were basically visited by, quote unquote, the authorities and told, don't do that anymore. Okay, there's the music. Time for me to get out of here. I got to get some rest. I'm just whipped. Stay tuned for John Stadmiller. I'm sure he's got lots of interesting things to share with you. Please spread the word of RBN. Please spread the word of whatreallyhappened.com. And we'll be back tomorrow. Aloha, America.
Show.